An interesting observation could be made on namespaces. So here I've got a namespace called animals, and that has a class called dog with a bark method, and this is what it outputs. But outside of the namespace, within the global namespace, I have a class called dog, which matches the definition over here, and it's got a bark method too, but it outputs the following, which is slightly different. So the question becomes is, I now have my main program, and I've got the main method here, and when it creates this dog, which dog is it going to create? And you can see it's got the bark method being called here. So the observation and the difference is this one is in the namespace animals, and this is also in animals. But this one, this class over here, is in the global namespace. So if I were to run this program and find out that the output says just wolf, and that is generated by this method over here, which is in the animals namespace. And the other class actually has the word global in it when it outputs the wolf global line. So clearly this has not created the global version of it. So how do you actually go about creating the global version of this class? So what you need to do is add the following, and you can see I have added the keyword global here. Now notice here that there's an error. It says cannot convert type dog to animals.log. So notice the difference here, which is this one is now referring to the global dog, while this one here is still referring to the animals dog. And you can see here, if I hover over, it says animal.dogs, and this one actually says it's global dog.log. So what you need to do is you also need to append global to the class name here. And as you can observe, the error has now gone away from both. And if I were to run this program now, and you can see the output of it is wolf global, which comes from the class here, which is not in the animals namespace, and we get this output here. So I hope this clarifies the difference between global namespace and the one that you define, and which class actually gets created. So it's the nearest one to the namespace that you're in. So if you are in the animals namespace and you're creating the class that is actually available within the animals namespace, such as this one we had over here, animals namespace, and we've got the dog class. So this one will get created because the creation of this class actually happens over here, and this happened within the animals class. But if you wanted to access the global one, you would have to use the word global with 2 colons here, and that will let you create the class over here. And then this method is the one that gets executed by the bark method.